Hola chicos, hoy quiero hablar de información general de nuestra clase, some general information about our class. La clase se llama Spanish 2A1, Español 2A1, es el nombre del curso, ¿verdad? Mi nombre, me llamo Señor Sofronis. Muchas personas me llaman Señor, so that's good. If you just want to call me Señor, that's fine as well. La sala de clase es 206. We are in room 206, so you know where you need to go. Información general sobre la clase. What about some general class information? Quiero hablar un poco de policies, expectations, all that good stuff, and then the general participation rubric. So, vamos a mirar esta información juntos. We'll look at this together right now. So, as we start with general class information, I'm not going to go through all of this because it's going to be available to you. First, I want to let you guys know the minimum requirement at Hamilton Wenham Regional High School is 2 sequential years of Spanish. That means that you need 2 years in high school. So, if you like Spanish, you might take 4 in high school. If you struggle with it, you may only take 2, but you need 2 in high school. So last year in 7th grade, if you're a freshman now, did not work. The official description, I'm going to let you guys read through this. It's in the handbook, and you have it with you. You don't really need to worry about it because I'll sort of guide you through the year. But specifically me, right? Maybe I'm different than other teachers. I think I probably am. Senor Sofronis, what do you expect in my class specifically? Well, a lot of it's the same. Extensive use of Spanish. You'll see that throughout high school. Online materials for explanation of concepts and practice. Right now we're doing that. We're using a flipped classroom model, and that's here. A possible shift in the classwork homework model of the traditional classroom. We're going to do things a little bit differently some of the time, so you can expect that as well. Mid-year and final exams are comprehensive and cumulative. What does that mean? That means that all the information you learn from day one, and possibly information you already learned in Spanish, is going to be on those exams. That's because we need to remember things we did first in order to progress. Students must demonstrate proficiency in order to progress. Proficiency does not mean fluency. You guys aren't going to be fluent after Spanish 2 unless you decide to go study in a Spanish-speaking country, which obviously will be fine with me. Proficiency at our level is a Spanish 2 level. So what do you need to do? What are some key things that you guys can do to be successful? Participation, practice, motivation, and a positive attitude are essential. Motivation is hard to come by. When we're in a classroom with 4 walls, we're not in a Spanish-speaking country, we don't need to speak Spanish outside of the classroom. So it's really important that you guys dig deep and find that motivation. Every day there'll be chances, opportunities. In fact, you'll be expected and required to participate and practice. I don't want you to think that participation means you need to raise your hand 7 times a day and I need to call on you. It could be group work as well. Academic responsibility and integrity are key components to your success. Academic responsibility means you guys are responsible for your own work and for your own progress in school. I'm here to coach you. Integrity, obviously, don't cheat, do your own work. So, some other key things in and outside of class. I'm not going to go through all this. I'm just giving you some information for what you need to do in class. This is the boring stuff. Most of the stuff is self-explanatory. My bathroom policy is a little bit different. I'm not going to ask you guys to ask me to go to the bathroom. It's a basic human need. So if you need to go, just grab a pass and go. If it becomes an issue and you're gone all the time, we'll address it. Number 9 I put down, this is new this year, don't be a robot. A lot of kids are good at playing school. They do what they need to do just to get by. They don't really learn anything, and they're satisfied with that. And they're robots. They're all the same. Please try not to be a robot. Be your own person. Learn your own way. Find your own way to learn. Use your individual skills to be successful in this class. I'm just going to talk about this one thing outside of class. Like, say hello to me. You don't even need to say hola or cómo estás. But so many kids that I know that I see in class that I have seemingly a good relationship with don't talk to me outside of class, and it hurts my feelings. So please do that. And I'm a Spanish teacher, so nosotros en clase hablamos español, right? We take a vacation from Spanish in here, but outside of class, you don't always need to speak to me in Spanish. And I don't want it to be an awkward thing if you want to have a conversation with me. Speak to me in English if you like. That said, I really love to hear you speak Spanish. So if you can do that and you want to do that, certainly do it. Don't do it to try to, gain brownie points. And then 3, try to use the Spanish whenever you can. Your pets speak every language, so speak Spanish with them. You have a dog, a goldfish, a cat, a bird. Birds would be actually cool because they'd imitate you. But honestly, you can speak Spanish as much as you can. Your family will be impressed. Your friends will be impressed. And parents are always telling me how their sons and daughters speak Spanish at home all the time. And many times it's the kids who don't want to speak in class. So that's interesting. So use it as well. I put some other stuff in here as well about being late and being absent. I'd like you to read through this information. This is sort of a contract that you need to know. You really need to be in class. That's the bottom line. I'm not going to read through all this to you. Our classes are going to be more important than your normal everyday class, I would say, because you guys are going to be doing a lot of the lecture stuff. I'll be explaining to you guys things through these kinds of lessons at home, and then in class I'll be practicing. So you really need that practice to learn the language. What you need to bring to class every day: an organizational system. A binder is great. I really highly recommend a binder. If you have an iPad or a laptop, those are great. Bring them to school. I encourage you to use them. I'm going to be trying to use a lot more technology this year. I really started last year in earnest, and I'll be continuing this year. So iPads are great. I realize we don't all have them. It's certainly not a requirement, so don't tell your parents you need to buy an iPad for Spanish class. But it's a wonderful tool to have. Something to write with, obviously, completed homework assignments. And this is key. I need your enthusiasm. I can't provide it all myself, depending on the time of the class. I'm a morning person, so you'll find in the morning I'll be amped up and ready to go. In the afternoon I might be a little bit tired. If you have a smartphone or a tablet, bring them to class. We're going to be using all kinds of apps this year. There's a Spanish-English dictionary called Spanish DICT that's fantastic, along with literally thousands of other apps that we can use throughout the year. So bring them to school, bring them to class. Obviously, we have rules in place for cell phones and for iPads. We'll talk about those later. We need to make sure that we're using them responsibly, and that's one of my responsibilities, to teach you how to responsibly use these tools. Bring water, right? Water is key for you guys. So I'll show you guys a lot of websites throughout the year as well that will undoubtedly you'll find useful as the year progresses. But please bring water to class. Most students are dehydrated throughout the day. That's my little water spiel. I'm going to save grading and the participation rubric for another presentation, because we're already at 7 minutes here, and I try to limit these to under 10. So, muchas gracias por su atención, y nos vemos en la próxima clase. We'll see you in our next class. I'm looking forward to it. Ciao, nos vemos.